Hello everybody, Andrew Casey at Hypersanitybooks. Today I'll be doing a 20 questions book tag. It's been requested and certain questions have been presented to me to read. I know there's a lot of YouTubers in booktube that do a lot of book tags. I've only done one previously and that was in 2021. After that time I read a book that kind of broke me, but we'll get to that. Also, just want to say with an opening point within this channel, I do get a lot of different email correspondences at my email, andrewcasey@hypersanitybooks.com. There are questions I get asked that some people aren't comfortable in asking. And I just want to say, if you are interested in certain books or TV shows, or you want me to do a case study on certain characters, it's okay to leave something in the comments. And if you're not comfortable with that, it is okay to make contact through this email. Just keep mindful not to overload with too much information. I have been presented with an interesting topic to do a case study on Fraggle Rock, but I'll touch on that at another point. Otherwise, for today's video, I'm just going to try to keep it tight and quick with the questions, and let's get into it. Number 1, book to admit you don't like or dislike. Well, with a YouTuber, I don't like Meg Latour's book. Through the first chapter, couldn't get through it. I looked at certain reviews and I don't agree with what she's done with the book. I was open-minded to think this was one of the best books that I would enjoy. And it was such a big letdown. The premise of the story and to its result in a resolution to polyamorous relationships, nah, don't even go there. Otherwise, if she wrote other books, I'm not keen to give it a go. With Game of Thrones, I tried with the series. I was not keen on a lot of the nudity. When it came to the book, I tried the audio book, and the person doing the narration sounded like my university professor. So yeah, picture that with listening to sensuality in your ear while a brother is doing something to his sister. Too much. Number 2, author's work you didn't like, but will revisit. Well, I'll just say, with Jenna Moresi, I don't mind her YouTube channel. I know there's a lot of criticisms with YouTubers giving writing advice. We're all different people with different perspectives, so it's okay to have a YouTube channel. I think she's got a lot of guts to do what she's done, and she's been doing it for a long time. With her book, Eve the Awakening, she has separated herself from that book more over the years, and I wasn't keen on it. With The Saviour's Champion, I gave it a go, but a companion book, The Saviour's Sister, really? I feel it's too long and lengthy, and I don't see the appeal to give it a go. However, in some time ahead, I might give more of her work a go as she publishes more books. With Stephen King, I'm a 50-50 with him. I like that he's a pantser, he's got a lot of brilliant ideas, I feel some of his writing drags, and in other parts it doesn't. I'm really 50-50 with his work. Question 3, TBR outlined or pantsed? Don't really focus too much on TBR. If I give up on a book, I give up on a book. I don't think about it too much more than that. With question 4, what is your favourite booktube reading event? I don't mind some book tags. I prefer book tags from other channels. My favourite channels with book tags is Lady Jane Books. I like her as a person. She's engaging, she's interesting and fun. With David's books reviews, I like him. He's down to earth. He's easy and approachable. And then my other favourite book channel that's come along, Dark Violet Dreams. She is a wonderful person. I love her channel. I'm always looking at what she's posting all the time. Question 5. How many works does it take when you're done with a book from an author? Usually 1. So with Meg Latour's book, she would have to do something, because it's down towards a 1-star for me, and I won't do 1-star reviews, that's just nasty. She'd have to do something significant for me to have to give that a go. There are some books where I have read it and it's like, oh, that's more of a 2 or a 3. I don't like it, but I'll give it a go again. But usually with an author, 1 book. Question 6, which I think should be question 7. Which of the 7 deadly sins do you experience the most? Well, personally, it's hard to really define that type of question. We all are flawed people to make different mistakes and choices in life. Question 7. Which of the Olympian gods is your favourite? Can I answer this truthfully? I only know of Zeus and Hades and Hera. That's it. I don't know. I've heard of Apollo. I have no idea who they are. With different mythology, you could ask me, with Jewish mythology, Ziz is actually the phoenix within Jewish mythology. In the book of Job, in the Bible, you hear of Leviathan and Behemoth. So with those three legendary beasts of the sky, earth, and water, I like that. I put that into Dark Sparrow towards a big part of the story. Question 8. Favourite food? I come from a family, my father was Hungarian, he's long passed away. I am an Australian, but he was Hungarian. That's close to Italy. There's a lot of different exchanges of food and culture. I like that. I don't mind when I do any sort of travel to try a pasta meal anywhere. And with garlic bread, it becomes more disappointing when I go to different places because I do a lot of my own cooking. So this is my herb mix. It has 30 different herbs and spices in it. I grew everything except for the garlic that went into it. I even dehydrated and made the paprika for it. I do enjoy cooking, and it's one thing that makes a good companionship with my wife at home. That's why with certain books like Under the Tuscan Sun and certain stories, I do enjoy them because of that scape of reality, or you feel like you're recreating reality for yourself. And there are some good stories, I find, because you can turn your life around and enjoy it. Question 9. Do you go to local events? Example, going to the fair. Not really. If I have my son, yes, there is a different part of experience together. With my wife and my son, we're going to the circus this weekend, and we will enjoy it. We'll have a good time. Otherwise, it's just the companionship that we have. I have my son in a different custody arrangement, so it's not as much access as I would like, but I build up what I can with my son. When it comes to a lot of different socials, I just don't have a need to go to different events, if that makes sense. Question 10. Do you prefer city, suburbs, small town, country? I prefer being in a small populated town. I don't like the big city. I'm not keen on the hustle and bustle. I enjoy, with my job that I go to, I drive there with a nice peaceful drive. I'm not in any sort of bad rush in life. I also find I have lived out on property before and didn't mind it. The only problem is snakes. One day, after building up Hypersanitybooks more, I'd like to build a block of land and grow a lot of different foods and build some farmland. But that's another story and shall be told another time. Question 11. Any YouTube videos have a hard time making? Book tags. I've only done one book tag before. This is my second. I enjoy watching some channels with their book tags. I'm not keen on making them, only because I don't know if anyone's wanting to engage hearing me talk about things. Otherwise, I don't mind questions being asked and I'll try to answer them respectfully. I may do some more book tag videos, I'm just not sure. Question 12. Are you interested in local history? Well, that's actually quite fascinating. I can't answer too much of this question, only because of the sort of workplace that I work in. But I work in a nursing home, and it's a nice, small, low-set buildings, and thought I saw something one night. I truly believe it. There are other encounters that people have, especially in this one area, where it seems to have supernatural occurrences. With this point, doing more history and showing on the grounds, there's a model that they have at the workplace, and I can't show that, of course, but it used to be a prison years ago. So yeah, that's actually quite frightening. Question 13. Favourite subject at school? So high school was absolutely weird for me, and within my favourite subject, it was unfortunate for grade 11 and 12 doing film and TV, where the teacher was the head of department. She was not turning up to class, she was late, she wouldn't read my work because I was just deemed because of my English skills at the time. And even though you might fail a lot, you can succeed later in life. So don't feel like school's going to define you for the future. So within the subject, I had her for 2 years. She was a horrible bitch. And I heard every male sexist joke for 2 years within that classroom. And in grade 12, I was 18 at the time. because I got held back. And within that year, I told one sexist joke.
Mr. Garrison, Wendy and I think that was a sexist statement.
Well, I'm sorry, Wendy, but I just don't trust anything that bleeds for 5 days and doesn't die.
And then I was in the principal's office with my parents at 18. And then my father asked, was it this joke that he said?
A blind man walked into a fish market and said, "Hello, ladies."
Yeah, so high school was pretty weird, and I don't like revisiting it. I moved on with life, supposed to have the second reunion this year, means nothing to me. I didn't even care for my graduation or anything else. I just wanted to get the hell out of there and move on with my life. Question 14. Go back in time to change one thing. Well, I talked about that in the Flash video, with codependency leading to interdependence. The case study could be the main character, and it can be the other version of Flash as the case study. Your opinion? That being said, I had about 5 different emails from people who didn't leave it in the comments, but contact me personally and attack. The video was not offensive in any way. The problem was people did not like the movie. I have a right to like something whether you like it or not. You don't need to voice your opinion to that extent. So there are some people who do abuse the email contact, Andrew Casey at hypersanitybooks.com. That is there for people to ask certain questions respectfully without obviously chewing up too much time and spam mailing me. But that's there for people who want to ask questions they're not comfortable with putting in the comments because of people who do attack. And it's sad that that was one thing. So looking back in life, could I change one thing? Oh yeah, I want to go back in time and change that Flash video so I don't piss someone off. Question 15. Any childhood entertainment you go back to? When I was growing up, I was into Inspector Gadget. Loved it as a kid. Within the episode I thought that was the final episode, you're watching a VHS that your mother recorded so many episodes to, and it builds up this climax, and then it stops. And you wonder for so many years, and now with things I revisited that a year ago to find out what happened. Little did I know, it was the same thing that happened just about every bloody episode, and it wasn't the last episode. It felt like it was. It had all the elements to a final episode to wrap up the series. Otherwise, I have visited it because someone else has put a case study video forward, or a different opinion to why this nostalgia over time has changed so much. And I think I got some interesting questions to touch on. I love the Dr. Claw villain. He's one of my favourite villains of all time. Then the movie ruined my childhood, and then the next movie just made me disown my childhood. Moving on from my tears and my tragic past of entertainment changing over the years. Question 16. Have you ever won money? Well, can I propose a joke? I only gamble when I have takeaway. Question 17. Do you give time or money to charities? Give more money, or there's a chocolate drive for the animal group, I'll buy up chocolates and support that group because it is a good cause. Otherwise, I don't put time into it like I used to. Question 18. Social status at school. I just kept to the few people who I talk to. There are most friendships they unfortunately sizzle out over time. There are some situations I also found I didn't want to pretend that someone's my friend. I didn't want to get involved with other people. And more so if I had to when someone else approaches me in the real world.
Excuse me, I'm Eric Lensher.
Charles Xavier.
Go fuck yourself.
I just have to be honest and open. There are some people who are nice or different parts of social groups, and there are other people that I didn't get to know because of time that they started at school compared to growing up with the same people for so many years. There are different friends become enemies and enemies become friends, whatever. Mostly, I just don't like school. I don't like talking about it. I find I like to be around real people. If anything, I was not a teacher's pet, as in the stuck-up teacher's pet, know-it-all kind of student. I was the kind that just showed respect to adults, knowing that they were trying to do something to help contribute to society, compared to other people who want to destroy and fuck up society. So there is that other respect I had for teachers. Looking at schools these days, that's not the kind of career path I would suggest to anyone. I think there are people who are lost causes, and I think it's not for me to want to get involved. And I just want to be honest and open in this type of video. Question 19. If you could change one thing in society, what would it be? Well, that's a hard question, but I think this part of the final chapter in Dark Sparrow will make clear what means a lot to me and what I wish I could change.
Judge Vedic Jones continued reading as Marcus began randomly telling a story. Job's story begins in the heavens, where God is talking to angels and saints about how loyal Job is. I imagine this as a universal courtroom in the center of the universe. God is the judge. Then Satan opposes God, declaring that Job is only loyal because he is rewarded, not truly tested. In Hebrew, the name Satan literally means the one to oppose. In my imagination, Satan is the barrister.
Within authority, I would help people because with a judge or a magistrate in a lot of cases, especially early within different problems or court orders that don't get followed or people denying access to allow supervised contact for people to have a relationship with their children. There's a lot of damage done to children today, and people get pushed way too much in society. So if I could change anything, I think that might be the best way to change something. Because a judge might be seeing themselves, or a magistrate seeing themselves above the authority, but a barrister has the authority to oppose. And I think a lot of family law around the world needs to be opposed. Question 20. Number one piece of advice. I touch on this with different videos I've done, talking about Stan Lee, talking about Dan Aykroyd, Rowan Atkinson. I want to do a lot more videos like that. But number one piece of advice, within the early part of the Dark Sparrow book, I touch on difficult subjects. So I'll just play this little bit of footage from a previous video.
Talk about Trump.
No, you just talk about everything. Get everything out the way. You don't want to find out and say, wow, honey, I didn't know that about you. You know this because you don't talk about those things.
Right.
So you need to talk.
Is it too early to talk about how many kids you want to have? Because I know people that have done that.
No, you talk about all that stuff, because people don't talk. When they don't talk, they get mad and they grow apart.
When I was writing Dark Sparrow, there was a concept that I put into the book. The first part of what the chapter 2 talks about not talking about politics, religion, and other subjects, keeping things private. Another half of the chapter says talk about it, especially when starting a relationship. There is a list of subjects that I'll pull up on the screen. This is what I recommend as my number one advice, especially when starting relationships or working on different relationships, is to talk. A lot of people don't. And I know sometimes with different workplaces, and that's the point of the book, one part says don't talk about subjects, keep it professional, and other parts talk about it. And I found with this advice, I touched on it later in the book with how a character met someone else and built up, and it's just the narrative is building. And that's what I did with my wife, just coffee and talking. And within time, we keep building up from there. We also were co-workers. We knew each other to a lot of extents. Feelings are feelings and emotions are there. And sometimes you just got to be happy with your life. And that's what I did. I chose to be happy. So with my number one piece of advice, keep those friendships that are dear to you. And I know there's a lot of difficult subjects that come up within that video. But yes, you can do ask me certain questions. I might do certain videos on that topic. Even though it's a book channel, I'm leaning more towards case study videos because I think there's more value in case study videos, and I think with a lot of the comments, it seems to be impacting and helping people to think about that with their personal life and their writing. However, that's it for today. Hit like, subscribe, comment, and remember, with a book tag, I might be doing another one of those videos soon, but that's another story and shall be told another time.